Hi there. Marriage in traditional African society. Have you ever asked yourself how our grandparents were able to get married to each other? Have you ever asked yourself the great grandparents how they were able to get married? Of late, you see convoys of vehicles. You see very many religious ceremonies about marriage. What was happening during the early 19th century? What was happening? Today, I bring you into a little of that culture. I am from Western Kenya, and I want to tell you what was happening those days. You know, our grandparents, when you were asking them, how come they found themselves where they are right now? My grandmother told me this, that long time ago, you never knew who was going to become your husband. You were never friends. So it just happened that one time when you were in your mother's house, maybe cooking, and by the way, remember, our houses in African traditional society did not have kitchen. The house for sleeping was different from the house where you are cooking from. And they were all grass-thatched houses. So you would move with your food from one small hut to another one. So when you were of age, it means somebody somewhere was also of age and they were searching for a wife. So you never knew who was going to become your husband. So what happened was that at one time when you were cooking and the darkness had come, as you are taking your food to your parents in the other house, you just found people descending on you and carrying you away. Just imagine, that is like snatching someone. That is like smuggling someone out of their homes. It was like abduction. That was marriage in the early 19th centuries and before that. And once they carried the girl, similar men of similar age group, they ran off with the girl in darkness up to their home. And when they reach their home, it's when also their parents know that so and so has brought a wife. Then the following day, a delegation would now be made to the home of the girl. And by the way, if it is your sister being carried off at night, of course you will search. But since you knew that that was part of the African culture, you assumed maybe somebody has abducted her. So you would go to sleep. You lock up their homes, the house, and you sleep. Then the following day, a delegation would arrive. And when they arrive, they come in peace. They come with presents. They come to inform you that we are ready to bring you animals. We have taken one of your own. That is how it was happening in the early 19th century. Then as we grew over the years, as culture evolved over the years, we came up to our age group. In the 1970s, in the 1980s, what was happening? We did not have the many vehicles we're having as convoys. But you see, that time now, people had begun going to school. Formal education had been introduced. So as they went to school, they befriended each other. As they went to school, they began talking to each other. And by the way, at that particular time, we did not have the luxury of telephones. They were not there. The luxury of mobile phones, they were not there. So what was happening? People would write letters, long letters, and keep posting to each other. You know, you write a letter, it travels maybe for 1 month, you post another one, they receive it, and they write back and say, yes, I'll be your friend. Another one writes back and says, no, I cannot be your friend. Then the time came for marriage. If you had now identified each other as friends, you did not stand and tell your parents, I am getting married. No, you chose to go off. And you know what was happening? I want you to look at what I'm holding in my hands. Just look at what I'm holding in my hands. There. From what I am holding in my hands, you can see someone would write to the sister, gone to the river. I am not coming back. Look at that. Yes, the sister would see this message of gone to the river. I am not coming back. You know, you have written and put under her mattress now. She'll wake up and see that. Then she knows my sister is not going to come back. Others would write there, I have gone. Your time will come. Now the burden came. The burden came. You have run away from home and gone. So your sister had the burden of telling your parents, so and so is not coming back. And they were all scared. And woe unto you if you are in school. Now your father would come, and with all the anger, your sister would be punished for your mistakes because you have run off. You have run away. They don't know where you are, but it's only your sister who knew where you are. Gone to the river, I'm not coming back. Others would say, we go for firewood. They would go for firewood with their sisters. And then they leave the panga and the axe in the bush where the firewood is supposed to be collected. And they go off. Their friends have come to collect them. And they disappear. Now, after they have disappeared, it's your sister who will go and tell your brothers, so and so is not going to come back. That is how people are getting married, just disappearing. Then, of course, after that, visitors would now come to your parents' home to say they have taken their child. Then as time went on, with religion being introduced, different types of religion being introduced in Africa, people began telling their pastors, their priests, they're going to get married. With education, people became more and more free with their parents, and they told them, at such a certain time, I want to get married. And then women began getting jobs. And when they got jobs and education, they became liberated. So openly now, they began introducing their friends to their families. It was no longer snatching of girls. It was no longer going to the river and not coming back. Today, I've just introduced to you a bit of what was happening in African traditional society before people get married. This is the African mom. In this channel, we discuss culture. In this channel, we discuss what was happening long time ago so that our people can be able to know. And in this channel, we bring you traditionally cooked food. In this channel, we discuss the herbal foods, the herbal teas. We discuss our fruits for us to be able to have a healthy lifestyle. Welcome to the African Mom. If you have not subscribed, subscribe. Thank you.